So this video, just as a quick disclaimer, I'm actually going to have separated into two parts. As we can clearly see today, we have a big stack of DVDs and tapes and whatnot. But there is an entire box full of like pre-recorded tapes that I don't even have featured here. So I'm actually going to make this pickups video separated into two parts. Part one, we're going to do the normal pickups, DVD, VHS, and whatnot. The other part of it, the second part, which I'll release a couple of days after, we're going to do strictly just the pre-recorded stuff I mentioned. So that's a quick disclaimer. Well, as for our main topic today, we have a whole wall of VHS. We've got some Blu-Rays and DVDs over here. For our main pickups, and surprisingly enough, while this pickups video looks like you're adding a whole bunch of movies and whatnot in your set, surprisingly enough, and I know some of you will be very disappointed in me for this, but there's actually some stuff I'm going to be getting rid of. What the? Yes, I know what that sounds like. I know that sounds kind of bad, but bear with me here. I initially wouldn't have been getting rid of anything, honestly, unless I grabbed something I just really honestly hated it. But there are changes that are happening in my life and decisions that I'm thinking of moving forward with, and unfortunately that actually does mean that some of these movies have to go. I think I've decided to make a bigger commitment to God, and honestly, it comes down to the fact that if it's something that's going to be a major distraction or anything to hinder my connection to Him, then basically it's got to go. So now, as you can probably tell, there are stuff here that I have actually not seen. A few of them anyway, so I really can't tell right off the bat, and I know one movie in particular what it's going to be like. But yeah, there are going to be some changes being made, and I figure if there are any movies in my collection that aren't going to hinder my connection or be a distraction in any way, or wouldn't be offensive to God in any way, shape, or form, then they can pretty much stay. But if it's something that maybe I've sort of grown out of, or, I'm not amused by them anymore as well, that's also another thing. So even stuff like my John Wicks and my Die Hards and whatnot, Alien, I think is one, they're all heading out the door. And I know you're probably thinking, that's such a stupid way of getting rid of movies. But I do have my personal reasons for doing so, and I think a bigger commitment to God is going to be way more important going forward for me than whatever material thing I'm going to be having in my collection. But before we lollygag on any time, we do have a bunch of stuff, I guess, to put in the movie's places that I honestly just took out. So I think VHS has the majority of it. But I think we're going to start with the DVDs and Blu-ray first, and I did set myself a timer, I think for about 30 minutes. I actually do got to leave work at about 8:30. It's a little after 8 at the time of recording this video, so I'm going to be as quick as humanly possible with getting through this stuff. So, let's begin. Alright, so the first Blu-ray we have up here, actually no, this is an HD DVD, sorry. Misspoke here. This is an HD DVD called Evening. I don't know anything about this other than it's romance. I'm not a romance guy, so chances of me watching this are pretty slim. But a friend gave this to me as something to, upgrade my HD DVD collection with. It does work. It's one of those HD DVD combos where the DVD is actually on the other side of the disc, too. As well, but again, it's one of those things where it's romance. I don't really dig that, and so chances of watching this they're very low. I actually was Going to watch this as part of my Features of the Month reviews that I do, but I decided to change up this month's film a little bit, and that was a whole other thing, so I guess there's that film. And up next we have Jaws on Blu-ray, and I already had this on DVD, but I decided to upgrade it to Blu-ray. This film does turn 50 this year, actually. So that's kind of nice. I haven't heard any news about what theaters it's supposed to be back in. I've not heard a single thing. But yeah, I decided let's upgrade to Blu-ray because, why not? So I'm probably going to be getting rid of my DVD as well because it's an extra copy that I don't really need. Speaking of upgrades as well, we have here Terminator 2 Judgment Day. We have the theatrical version and, of course, the longer special edition version that James Cameron did at one point. It adds an extra 15 minutes to it. So you're provided with a variety of options. And this also would be a film, I'm sure you're wondering, it's like, well, you say you're getting closer to God, right? So there are going to be some things moving out. So why are you keeping Terminator? Wouldn't that be anti-God? And yeah, there are a few moments in there that are kind of mean-spirited, I'm not going to lie. Maybe a little too mean. I know I sound like a very old person, but maybe there are some moments where the language could have been toned down. But I'm thinking at the state of where the world is heading to, Terminator 2 might not be too far off. I mean, discounting all the time travel and whatnot that's obviously depicted in these movies, I would not be surprised in the least bit if we're going to be heading towards a Terminator situation come, the end of the world. Because who's to say the Antichrist and AI don't have any kind of correlation in any way? You never know. But anyway, getting on to something much more lighthearted, we have here some Ernest P. Worrell movies. We have Ernest Goes to Camp, Ernest Goes to Jail, and Ernest Scared Stupid. Ernest Goes to Camp and Jail I've seen a whole bunch of times. I've seen every Ernest film, I think, except for one or two. Africa is one I know I haven't seen. There's like one other one I'm blanking on. Scared Stupid is one I saw like once. I wasn't like a big fan of it, but just happened to be included with the sets. It's kind of like, why not? I have Ernest Goes to Camp on tape, and I had Ernest Goes to Jail on a DVD as well, but I can get rid of that DVD now because, again, I don't need an extra copy. I've got this right here. So there's Ernest. And here's another one. I'm sure some of you will point, call me a hypocrite and a walking contradiction. This I picked up before I made the decision to have some stuff let go. This is the Tarantino movie, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. One of my favorites from him, actually. I really did dig this movie. So I really am debating whether to keep this in my collection or not. Honestly, I'd have to watch that again to really make the decision. Is this something I really want? But yeah, that's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Ooh, yeah, here's a big guy. Star Trek Enterprise complete series on Blu-ray, all 4 seasons. And I did a Star Trek collection video, which this showed up on. So we have all the Blu-rays for all the episodes of the show, and the box is a little, it's a little cracked here. I don't know if you can see it. It is a little cracked. But I'm glad it showed up in one piece. The person who wrapped this up did take somewhat good care of it. So I'm honestly just going to blame the Postal Service for that little crack, but it doesn't matter in the long run. This film I don't remember actually finishing. We watched this in one of my film courses that I actually dropped out of to move forward with something else in school. But anyway, this is the Michael Mann film Collateral. So I'm going to have to basically watch this again because I didn't catch like the last third or the last half of the movie. Never finished it, so this will be my chance to finish it, I guess. And, ooh, this is a good one. 1917. I don't know if you've watched this film or not. I think from 5-6 years ago. It's all done in like one long take, or it's designed to be in one take anyway, I guess I should say. It takes place during World War One, not two. I know a lot of people tend to forget about World War One, and I mean, to be honest, World War Two has always been much more interesting than World War One. But I probably should be reading up more on my World War One stuff, because it's between the two wars, the one I'm definitely less familiar with. And for 1917, I would have preferred this on a Blu-ray at least, but I happened to find it on the DVD, so we'll start there anyway. And 1917 was a film, that was the first film, my uncle got a 4K player. That was the first one I watched ever on a 4K disc, and I'd say that was well worth the experience. The quality was very good. So we have a few DVDs left, then we'll be getting to the VHS coming up shortly. Alright, up next we have Commando, the Arnold Schwarzenegger action movie from the 80s. And this one I saw like one time on Tubi, and I thought it was, alright. It wasn't like my favorite Schwarzenegger action movie, but I figured it was worth the pickup. I picked it up at the sale barn at the time. This is a double feature DVD set I found at my local thrift store. We get Mr. Bean the movie and Johnny English. The Bean the movie, this is not the holiday one he's on. This is a different one from the 90s. I think after the show wrapped up, and he basically works with the little short guy, the awkward guy from Ghostbusters 2 to help guard a painting in a museum. That's also the infamous one where I'm sure everybody's probably seen the meme or the video where he pretends to have a gun in his jacket and then he gets caught by airport security because he just happens to be using his fingers as a gun. But anyway, before I get off track, that's in here. Johnny English, the first one's on here as well. I think I've only seen the second one, so I'm going to have to watch the first one at some point. So, got some Rowan Atkinson movies. This one also I'm debating keeping. It's A Good Day to Die Hard, the last Die Hard movie. Obviously, we're not going to be doing any more since Bruce Willis's health is going down. This one I got at the time to basically complete my collection of Die Hard movies on DVD, but again, I'm debating keeping it because of, changes I'm making in my life. This here, ladies and gentlemen, we'll start with the tapes. This is a bootleg. This is a bootleg copy of Monsters Incorporated. And I didn't know that when I picked it up. This is why it helps to, look at stuff that you pick up. Doesn't give an hour, a time, doesn't list who the home video company is or who the company that made it period is, and it just says Monster Inc. I know there were slipcover versions of Monsters Incorporated floating out there, so that's what I thought it was, which is why I was really confused when I discovered that wasn't the case. And I did a whole video just based on this bootleg. It's actually one of the most watched videos on my channel, which I am really impressed with. So I'll attach that link down below. And if you haven't watched that yet, I would highly encourage you to do that. This here is the Fantastic Four movie from 20 years ago with Chris Evans as the Human Torch and Michael Chiklis as the Thing, and of course got Jessica Alba in there. And this is one you probably wouldn't have expected to see on tape. This is a 2005 movie, but I did manage to get a release, it looks like. And yes, I know these Fantastic Four movies aren't exactly the greatest cinema has exactly coughed up at us, but I figured it was worth the pickup for collecting superhero stuff on tape. As for Rise of the Silver Surfer, No, that's not going to get a tape release. That missed out. That was like 2 years too late, I think, to get a tape release. So, yeah. But again, people don't typically like the Tim Story movies. They find them too corny. Yet the 2015 ones too dark. And this new one, I don't know how much in a hurry I'm going to be able to see it because of creative choices they've obviously made. And anyway, before I rabbit trail once again, we have here Castaway on tape. And I think I've seen like chunks of this movie. I've never seen the whole thing like in its entirety, so I'm definitely gonna watch this when I get the chance. And it has a 15-minute featurette available at the very end of the movie, so that's kind of nice. And this was the last movie Zemeckis made before he went into that weird 3D animated motion capture, if that's what you want to call it, phase of his life. There were like 3 or 4 movies he made that way: Polar Express, Beowulf, Mars Needs Moms is definitely one I remember. I forget what the other one was. But apparently he decided, I'm done working with physical stuff. I'll just do everything in the computer, and well, look how well that turned out. Here's another one I haven't seen, Field of Dreams. This is a film I've wanted to see for a while, and I don't know if you can see there or not. There actually is a little bit of mildew on here. I put it through my least favorite VCR to see what would happen, and nothing really happened. There's like slightly less mildew on it than what there was, but that's one of those things where you have to be very careful. One other tape I picked up, unfortunately, did not make the cut because actually dismantled by the time I got home. It was a VHS of A Time to Kill, which is a movie from the 90s I've not seen. But the top piece like just snapped off randomly, and there was a whole bunch of mold in there, which, again, this is why you pay attention to what you pick up. How I didn't learn this already is beyond me. So unfortunately, that didn't make the cut. Here's another movie I've not seen. It's the Eastwood Western The Outlaw Josie Whale, sorry. And I guess... Ooh, that's right. This came from a video store in Phillipsburg, PA called Video Stars on Route 53, which obviously, unfortunately, no longer in business because what rental store is in business these days? Okie dokie. We have here, and the cover's a little worn, but it's Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the first movie. And honestly, this is the only thing of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles that I've ever seen ever. I've watched this movie several years ago, like once, and that's about it. That's about as far as I've got into the Turtles franchise. I haven't watched the original show or read the comic, or there was something with Nickelodeon too, I think, at one point, 3D animated. I remember when that came out. And of course there's Michael Bay movies and an animated movie from a couple of years ago, I think. But this is about as far into Turtles I've got into, so it is what it is. This is a Steven Seagal movie, action movie called On Deadly Ground. I've never seen a Steven Seagal movie. I heard they're like really violent. I know he had some very strict contract stipulations. So whether or not I'll keep that movie, I guess we'll find out. Ooh, here's another one ad. We got a Disney one. 101 Dalmatians, the original one. Has the black diamond here on the top. And that means supposedly that they're worth money. That's typically debated among VHS people whether or not that's actually the case. But I'd still say it's worth the pick up. We'll add that to my Disney collection. And up next, we have some Christmas movies. And no, this is not because of Christmas in July. I think that's hogwash idea. Nothing to do with it. I picked them up because I've never seen them before. So the first one here, we have another Schwarzenegger one. It's Jingle All the Way. I've never seen that. Picked this up for 25 cents. So that's not too bad. And if I end up not liking the movie for whatever reason, then it's not like I lost a whole boatload on that. And the other one is the Jim Carrey Grinch movie, which I don't recall ever seeing. I know Mom refuses to watch this movie because it's not the same as the old one, yet she'll watch the one animated from Illumination, so I don't know. But anyway, I've not seen this. I'll watch it on Christmas time when the holiday season actually comes around. And I'll let you know what I think. And then we have here, before we get to all the religious stuff, this is a Lucille Ball and Henry Fonda comedy called Yours, Mine, and Ours, which I picked up and I have not seen. And before we do get to the stack of religious stuff, we got about 5 to 10 minutes, so I'm going to breeze through here in rapid fashion. This tape is all about ancient prophecies and how they are coming to light and coming true in the modern world, and the sticker here is peeling off a little bit, so I'm going to have to fix that. And as you can see here through the lack of tape, that either means it was recorded in EP mode, or it's just very short tape. Alright, this is part of a series, Greatest Heroes of the Bible. Has a story of the Ten Commandments and Abraham's sacrifice. I don't remember if we ever watched the Ten Commandments part in Sunday school or not, so it looked a little bit familiar. Yeah, this is also a walking contradiction. It says here on the tape, approximately 50 minutes, yet it says on the box, approximately 100 minutes. What is it? Oh, well, I guess. Let's do this one. Some of you who have grown up in a Christian household might be familiar from this with this film from, I believe, yeah, it's from 1979. The Jesus film, also known as Jesus. This is one of the most well-known story of the Gospels made at that time. This is basically the closest thing anybody would have had to, like, Passion of the Christ or The Chosen at the time. Of course, that was back when they all thought Jesus was white, and the movie definitely portrays him as this white British dude, which we know he is not. He is Middle Eastern, but again, people didn't know better back then. This is apparently a movie. It's the story of Jacob and Joseph, and I don't know anything really about this, so I'll have to let you know what I think about it when I get around to it. This here is just short little informational tape, probably something you would have found back in your church library back in the day. It's simply the life of Jesus Christ. Oh my goodness, approximate running time, 5.5 hours. Good Lord. Okay. That's a lot. This tape set, I'm not going to get, well, I'll get them out quick. This tape set is about prophets of the past, whether or not they are Christian, Jewish, Muslim, Buddhist, or Hindu. Honestly, we know Buddhism, Hinduism, Islam, they're all false religions. We know that. But this is just sort of taking a trip through that part of the globe and exploring those prophecies. Here we have seven signs of Christ's return. I don't know if this is also referring to the 7 seals that the book of Revelation mentions about, but this is about 7 signs before he eventually comes back to Earth. And honestly, I have a feeling we're about, at this point in time, we're probably about 5 or 6 signs of the way through before we get to 7, so we are probably very, very close. This is all about church cathedrals over Notre Dame and France, and looks like this was a History Channel documentary from way back in the day. And let's move on to this one. This is part of a tape series, Mysteries of the Bible. This one is Mary of Nazareth and Job. So that's number 1. Number 2, of course, Jesus, the Holy Child, and Masada, the Last Fortress. I'm not familiar with this story at all, so I'm gonna have to figure that out, unless that's part of like the Apocrypha or anything like that. If you don't know what the Apocrypha is, that's books that are considered non-canon for a large variety of reasons. It could be that they actually contradict gospel, or do in fact that, a certain somebody in the past 1,000 or so years decided to get rid of some books because they might have revealed a little bit too much truth for them. So that's theory number 2. This one is Noah's Ark and Cain and Abel. So we get 2 Old Testament stuff. Ooh, here's one. We have Mystery of the Pyramids, hosted by Omar Sharif, who you might remember from Lawrence of Arabia. So that makes somewhat sense, I guess. All right, we have this is a 6-hour tape. Good Lord. Okay, the stories and miracles of Jesus. 12 stories spanning from his birth all the way to the crucifixion and resurrection. Sorry. We got some end time stuff coming up here shortly. This is the signature of God. Looks like this is sort of, I don't know if you want to call it like a Bible study kind of a thing or not. And about biblical discoveries, probably a little bit of archaeological stuff put in there as well. That's what I'm guessing. I don't know otherwise. And I don't know anything about this film. This is pretty much about the rapture and tribulation, about people disappearing. This is called The Moment After. And my timer just went off, so that means it's time to wrap up. Thankfully, I have one more tape, and it's simply called The End Times. And this is another short one, which is why there's not as much tape in here. And, yeah, well, it's time to go to work now. So I gotta pack up my stuff quick and get going. But otherwise, I hope you enjoyed today's selection of stuff. Again, I know some of it I'm debating whether or not to keep or not, like the Die Hard thing here. But I guess we'll find out. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed today's video. Make sure to catch more 20th Century Dude content along the way, and hope to catch you on the fly. See ya. Oh yes, and stay tuned for part 2. We'll be diving into primarily pre-recorded tapes. Just a whole box dedicated to them. That'll be a separate entry. But anyway, see ya.